I thought I'd dress up, but instead I just decided to wear red, not straighten my hair, and pour myself a Caesar. Do Not Reply came out in 2019 and was written and directed by a father-son duo, and it stars our king. We stan the one and only Jackson Rathbone. Rathbone? Who is best known for playing a Confederate soldier vampire in the Twilight series. You can stream this movie for free on sites like Tubi, which coincidentally is also where I found my summer as a goth, and this isn't an ad for Tubi, I swear, but I'd like to shout them out for single-handedly filling my brain with so much crap. But the best genre of bad movies by far on that site, and any other free movie site by the way, are the horror genre. And don't get me wrong, I love good horror movies. I also love bad horror movies. Bad horror movies just have a special place in my heart. This one is pretty special to me in particular, so let's just get to it. Chelsea is a shy high school student whose best friend Mia recently got into a relationship, leaving her stuck hanging out on forced double dates with her gross friend. Now girl, I've been there. I was always that weirdo that was thrown in with, okay, we can only hang out with your guy friends if you've got 3 of them and 3 of us, and they would throw in a third, and I was that third. And guess what? We would sit together in the back of the theater and just say,
Do you like movies? Where is your family from?
It was a lot like that. Chelsea has started talking to this guy Brad online. We don't know exactly how they met. She seems too young for dating apps, and besides, she never even gets a photo of him, aside from like a very shady, weird picture where he looks like he's trying to do a Brokeback Mountain cosplay, but the shadow is entirely covering his face. Also, there are so many red flags in the first part of this movie. I am really having a hard time sympathizing with our main female protagonist here. Brad never shows his face. We don't really know how they started chatting. He convinces her to send him a photo of herself in her sister's cheerleader's uniform. And then he convinces her to meet her in person for the first time at night, an hour away from her home, at a Halloween warehouse party where, again, somehow, in person, he's somehow unable to show his face. Creative, I'll give you that, but girl, run! But she goes along with it and accepts an alcoholic drink from him and then promptly passes out in his car, because what else did you think was going to happen at that point? So surprise, surprise, it turns out the online faceless stranger who requested photos of a teenager in a cheerleader uniform and then brought her out to a warehouse in the middle of nowhere and gave her alcohol is not a good guy? What? She wakes up trapped in his basement. We finally see his face, which is when I realized, oh my god, it's Jasper from Twilight. It's Jasper! So this girl's probably 16, 17. I think Jasper, given he was a Confederate soldier, he's gotta be at least 140. Also, I'm just gonna call him Jasper from now on in this point in the movie, because he insists that Chelsea be called Sadie from now on. After a few days in captivity, another girl in a cheerleader uniform who says her name is also Sadie comes down to let her out. This girl is actually named Megan. Chelsea Sadie tries to escape while Megan Sadie catches her. We learn that Megan Sadie has Stockholm Syndrome and is pretty infatuated with Jasper Vampire Boy, the racist pedo ex-vampire psychopath. They also meet another girl who calls herself Sadie, but she's actually named Heather. So now Heather Sadie isn't as brainwashed as Megan Sadie, but she is cooperative and tries to help calm Chelsea Sadie. The already established Sadies tell the now Sadie all about Jasper's incredibly tidy household and all of the strict rules he has for them. They dye her hair blonde, which, okay, I take great issue with this part. You don't go that quickly from literally black hair to horrible bleach blonde in a matter of hours. Girl, who is the stylist that is living in this house? Chelsea Sadie also discovers that Jasper is holding another girl captive who Jasper has gotten pregnant, and then he proceeded to beat the shit out of her and cause her to lose her baby. Now she's just in bed with infected wounds, slowly dying. Heather Sadie's in the kitchen acting so weird, humming in a way that I kind of thought for a moment she might be the serial killer. Anyways, Jasper has his way with her. I'm getting more and more unhappy the more that I watch this movie. Not in like a scared way that I should feel about a horror movie. This is just kind of uncomfortable and like I'm watching a constant live stream of a psychopath. Later on, Heather Sadie reveals that she's been there for 3 years and she's been practicing some kind of a performance for Jasper. And she believes that once she delivers a perfect performance in this cheerleader outfit, she'll finally be able to leave. But we find out that Creepy McCreeperson is actually working on some kind of a virtual reality experience using a helmet covered in 360 cameras where ultimately he'll get to relive murdering Sadie in some kind of an immersive VR game over and over again. We also find out that Sadie was the name of Pervy Boy's younger sister, who he was in love with. Okay, yeah, let's just throw in some incest into the mix now too. Why not? We already have kidnapping, murder, assault, and let's just make a horror movie trope cocktail. Cheers! This has been sitting out for way too long. The lore is that the OCD vampire boy killed their mom to be with Sadie, and then Sadie killed herself, and then somehow down the line he became a VR engineer in a giant dollhouse with 0 college education, I'm guessing, all at the ripe age of 150 years old. So then the bedridden girl is about to die and asks Chelsea Sadie to do it so Jasper doesn't get the satisfaction. We're getting dark here, but he's so impressed by Chelsea Sadie's murder that he shows her what he did to Heather Sadie in his little VR immersive experience. Now Megan Sadie is getting jealous, and also Chelsea Sadie is privy to the fact that now Megan Sadie will be the next to die. She tries to warn her and wants to work together to escape, but this bitch is so brainwashed. But Chelsea Sadie shows Megan Sadie the proof once they manage to sneak out of their rooms. But they're caught by the big bad vampire, and now we're in the final leg of the movie where through the power of teamwork, he gonna get killed. They find the key, they run outside, and somehow her phone, I guess, had juice this whole time because she's immediately able to FaceTime her mom. And how long was she in prison for, by the way? We don't really know how long it's been. The movie is only an hour and a half. It's just basically set up as a catfishing scare, but then, oh, scary cheerleader house, and then we're out and it's done. That brings me to my other gripe, which is the title. It feels like Do Not Reply just refers to their initial back and forth, but these messages have just begun out of nowhere at the start of the movie. Like, there's no build-up. The movie starts, we have no idea how they met, but she just has the contact VR cowboy on her phone with a douche in a hat and shadows covering his face. And how did they meet? How did this happen? Her sister even asks, so who is he? She says, I don't know. They should have just fleshed this out a little bit more if the title of your movie is going to be Do Not Reply versus Scary Cheerleader House. If the underlying message of the movie is do not reply to strangers online or you'll get kidnapped by a vampire and forced to clean his house in a cheerleader costume, then why not focus a little bit more on the catfishing, stranger danger, careful who you speak to online part of it? Like, that happens so quickly. If I wrote this movie, it would have gone a little bit like this. We know that she's shy and lonely. Maybe we see her hiding in an online blog or a chat room or RPG game persona where she's her more true and confident self, but her worry begins to creep in, and then a stranger starts pursuing her online. Maybe she's nervous. Maybe she doesn't know. Should I reply? She talks to her older sister or her friend or her mom or a mentor, and they all agree, do not reply. We flush this out for a little while, for like maybe the first 20-30 minutes of the movie. We see her doubting him, but then slowly starting to fall for this stranger. Meanwhile, everyone around her, and somewhere, deep down inside, even she herself, is starting to scream, do not reply, in her mind, because title of the movie. Maybe there's a slow burn of a realization that he's not who he says he is, but she's sneaking out, she's talking to him, she debates meeting up with him, she's lying to the loved ones around her, and then, at around maybe like the halfway or near the end of the movie, all hell breaks loose and we switch the point of view to either the mom or the sister or the best friend. And then it's a mystery. We have no idea where she disappeared to, because again, the whole do not reply. She replied. There's no Sadies, there's no cheerleaders, there's no Barbie pink dream house. Instead, the point of view completely switches from hers, and Chelsea is gone. They try to track her down, they eventually find her, and the cops catch her at his house, and maybe they find her tied up in the basement in a cheerleader outfit. That can be an afterthought, whatever, but it's right at the end. We make it a mystery who he is for the full movie, and get this, maybe we don't even waste the budget on Jasper from Twilight. Maybe we never see the guy's face, and all of the budget goes into, I don't know, better effects and wigs. Just throwing it out there. I am not going to praise this movie at all. I think with My Summer as a Goth, there were some very enjoyable moments there. This movie sucks. Do not reply to this video unless you have bad things to say about that movie.